Hello, you guys, and welcome back to the Priestess Perspective. I am your host, Hot High Priestess, and I'm so excited for today's episode because this is going to be my first solo episode that I'm doing on the YouTube. And let me tell you, you guys, I feel so nervous posting the podcast episodes on YouTube because I feel like there's something so intimate about the fact that for the most part, my podcast has only been on Spotify and Apple Music or whatever it's called, where it's just been my voice. Like, I feel like I'm sending you guys voice notes, and if you know with the voice notes, they are the girl. They're so intimate, and there's something about posting like this on YouTube that is so scary but feels so right. So we're gonna give it a shot. I also look like this if you're seeing me. If you're not, I have my hair roller in, and that's literally the tea. That's exactly what today's episode is going to be about. It's going to be about just tapping into alignment. Today's episode is, honestly, if this episode found you, then it is no coincidence. This episode found you because you are meant to hear whatever I'm about to say. And I don't even know what today's episode is going to be about, but I just know it's meant for you if you are listening. I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for listening to the Priestess Perspective. Thank you for being you, for being so absolutely incredible. I am obsessed with the Priestess Perspective family. Thank you for rating the podcast 5 stars, for liking this video on YouTube and subscribing. You have no idea how much it helps the channel and for me to continue making incredible content for you. So honestly, I am beyond obsessed with the Priestess Perspective family. I literally rave about you guys to everyone all the time. So I'm in love with you guys. But anyways, in today's episode, I want to touch on the topic of alignment. This is huge. And I know the word alignment is the most vague ass word ever, but there is something so magnificent about alignment and what that really looks like in practice. And the reason this idea and this word has resonated with me so deeply, or why it's even come up lately, is because I was on a hike with someone special recently, and we were talking about our goals for the month of March. And I had said that in the month of March, my only goal is to completely tap into alignment. That's it. And to only do things that truly feel aligned, and to move with the things that feel aligned at full fucking speed, to grow at rates that don't make sense so long as it feels aligned, to do the things that maybe people are saying not to do so long as it feels aligned. There is something so potent and powerful about alignment. Like, this is Hot High Priestess lore. Hot High Priestess lore is alignment. You know, in other episodes, we have an episode called, and it's one of my favorite episodes, it's called Manifest with Pleasure or something like that. Life-changing episode. If you know, you know. But in that episode, I talk about how I am constantly rewarded when I tap into the frequency of pleasure. Okay, when I tap into the frequency of pleasure, I am constantly rewarded by the universe. That's just how it is. And it's not just for me, it's a law, okay? It's a law. It's a universal law, okay? I just got back from a trip to Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. If you've ever been, you know how incredible of a place it is. But let me tell you, I felt out of alignment in LA for whatever reason, okay? Something was not feeling very aligned, and I felt called to go on a trip. And I didn't really know where to go at the time. And I was like, you know what? The universe will make it abundantly clear where I'm meant to go. And I kept getting like callings to go to Costa Rica. Then on my TikTok, I kept seeing videos about Santa Teresa. And I was like, okay, this is clearly a sign. Something about this feels so incredibly aligned. And even though I had no one to go with at the time, and I had no plans, I knew nothing about Santa Teresa or anything like that, I was like, I'm going to fucking go because it feels aligned. And let me tell you, the 2 weeks that I was there, not only did I have a friend to go with, right, who ended up joining me last minute on the trip, but it was the most spiritual, magnificent trip I had ever been on. The amount of intuitive downloads and the creativity that was bursting through me, the motivation that had been lacking for so long in Los Angeles, I found on this trip in Costa Rica. And one of my biggest takeaways from this trip was to completely tap into the frequency of alignment. When I was in Costa Rica, I promised myself that I would only do the things that I felt aligned to do. See, in LA, I think I was feeling super called to hustle, to grind, to really, go on to the next project and do all these things. And something about that just was not speaking to me. I knew, my logic brain was telling me, well, if I worked more, I would make more money. But something about that wasn't aligning with my soul. And so I, even though you would think that going to Costa Rica, and just eating smoothie bowls all day and doing yoga on a beautiful terrace all day and seeing my friends surf, that wouldn't necessarily be the most profitable thing to do, right? But there's something about alignment that not only rewards you monetarily, it rewards you in every aspect of life. Not only was I, for whatever reason, making a ton of sales while I was on this trip, truly not doing work, okay, quote unquote, but I was truly in the happiest state of mind, feeling the most amount of peace and presence that I had felt in a very, very long time. I felt magic. I felt what it meant to be alive. And there is something priceless about that. I was bumping into some of you guys in Santa Teresa, which was incredible. I was surrounded by spirituality and people who are like-minded. There is something about being on the path of alignment that leads you to exactly where you are meant to be. Now, here's the tea. Is we live in a society, okay? And we live amongst people, and we are amongst influences that tell us that there are certain paradigms and certain things we're meant to do at certain times. And the problem with that is oftentimes what ends up happening is we fall down this rabbit hole of doing things that might sound right, that might look right, that might be deemed the right thing to do at a certain time. But if these things are not in alignment with your soul, if you feel immense resistance towards the thing, if it doesn't feel like a 100% fuck yes, a part of your soul will self-sabotage the experience. On the other hand, there's things that we do that might not be deemed the smartest thing to do, or something that we're meant to do, or the right timing of something, right? There's things that we're gonna do that maybe don't even make sense to us, but that feel aligned with our soul, that feel like, you know what, fuck, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm meant to do this. And this is what I call aligned action, okay? Aligned action is one of the steps I talk about in my Manifest Magic workshop, which, by the way, if you've done the workshop, you know how insane it is and how insane the transformation is. And if you haven't already joined us for Manifest Magic, I'm going to leave a link below for you guys. And for my podcast guests only, you guys can use code BESTIE for 30% off, which is insane, off the workshop. But the results my students have with the workshop are so astronomical because they take aligned action. They take inspired action. They take action that feels for their soul like a 100% fuck yes. And they look at their lives, okay? And they look at the things that feel like resistance. And they ask themselves, is this really what my soul is calling me to do? Is this truly the path of least resistance? And that's not to say that when we pursue the things we want to pursue, there aren't going to be obstacles here and there, that there aren't going to be hurdles that we have to overcome or challenges that we have to experience. Just like when you're surfing, you don't mind falling off the surfboard because it's a part of the experience that you are signing yourself up for, a part of the experience that you want to be a part of the journey you want to walk through, you or swim through. It's something that you want to go through. It's something that you're willing to go through easily. And there's a difference between that and a challenge or sacrifice you're making that feels unaligned and feels like your soul knows you're not meant to go through it. And there's so much resistance to where you're like, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I meant to pursue, because a part of your identity knows you deserve better, knows that you are worth way more than what you are currently experiencing. The most successful points in my life came from the least amount of work, came from something that felt so easy to me, so effortless, so passion driven, that felt so like obvious, and so like all in energy. Like I just feel sometimes those things were things that made no sense too. That maybe I didn't even know how it would come to be at the time, but that just felt so right in my heart, in my soul, and I did it anyway. Maybe there's a place you're feeling called to go to, a place you're feeling called to move to, a college you're feeling called to go to. Maybe there's a person you're feeling called to text or call or catch up with or meet up with. Maybe there's a sport you're feeling called to take up for whatever reason. A few months ago, I think I've mentioned this story once or twice, but like a few months ago when I was in LA, I felt a really weird calling to play pickleball. Such a random sport, and I am not a sporty gal, or I wasn't at least, and I just felt this really, really deep calling to play pickleball. Made no sense at the time. I was like, I don't know, but and it again made no sense, but it felt like I was meant to do it. It felt right. It felt easy. It felt fun. It felt pleasurable and exciting. And so even though I knew nothing about it, even though the thought of playing a sport I had no idea how to play on a court scared the shit out of me, I was like, you know what? Something about this is going to lead me somewhere. And aligned nudges and aligned, instinct is actually the universe speaking through you. It is God speaking through you and to you. When you feel that intuitive guidance, that intuitive calling, that is the universe speaking to you. It's the universe giving you direction to a majestic destination. And you might not even know what the destination is. Usually, the destination is actually something that you've asked the universe for, a manifestation that you've set into motion that is going to be fulfilled through the means of this aligned action, inspired action. Anyway, I felt called to play pickleball. And I want you, as I'm telling this story, to think of like what you've felt randomly called to lately, whether it's, picking up a certain hobby or whatever it is, taking a certain trip, reading a certain book, which I'll get into as well. These intuitive nudges are not coincidental. And so I felt this weird calling to play pickleball. And at the time I was on Hinge, and I see a guy who in his Hinge bio, who, mind you, I would never normally swipe right on or like or anything like that. But in his bio, or one of his prompts was like, I'm looking for a pickleball partner. And I was like, wait, I am too. So I sent him a like, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to mean something. I didn't, at the time, I was genuinely just looking for a pickleball partner. I did not think I was going to see this guy ever again. I was like, I just want to learn the sport, and that's it. Okay. And yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go play pickleball with this guy who, again, honestly, from his profile, I was like, totally not my type, would never have sent him a like. But the pickleball thing made me send him a like. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I end up going on, I guess you would call it a date with this guy to learn how to play pickleball. And when I tell you, I had the funnest first date, is that even a word, funnest? First date of my entire life, period. Like, I had never felt so innocent, so alive, so like I'm telling you, this date healed my inner child. Like, if you've ever played pickleball, you know it's so, so fun. And I was doing it with this, mind you, turns out incredibly attractive man who did not look like that on his profile. And I was like, what the hell? I just scored it with this really hot guy, and I'm on this pickleball date. I'm learning to play pickleball. I'm having the best time of my entire life. Truly a date I will never, ever forget, with the sweetest gentleman treating me like a princess man who's also so attractive, which was so unexpected. It was giving reverse catfish. And I was like, this is it. This was what the pickleball thing was calling me to, because I never would have gone on that date with him had it not been for the pickleball thing. And not only that, but on my second date with this guy, while we're walking out and about, I end up getting recognized by an amazing girl. Her name is Jamie, who, by the way, was featured on one of our episodes called Manifesting Your Soulmate, who turned out to be one of my really good friends here in LA, and her boyfriend or soulmate, who she was on her first date with at the time. And I was like, okay, well, if I didn't, feel this aligned calling to play pickleball, and also take aligned action to actually go after the thing and go do it, I would not have met this guy who I've now been talking to 4 months, who is a very important part of my life right now. Not going to spill too much tea, but turns out, the wheels are turning, who isn't just my pickleball partner, but maybe someone else. And also, I met 2 of my really good friends here in LA through seeing him on our second date playing pickleball, and then all of their friends and a bunch of opportunities out here in LA that were introduced through Jamie and through, her circle. And it's insane. It's literally insane how this aligned calling that I had, because I followed it, led me to a series of events that were so positive and so magical. And that's the thing about when you feel callings. I think so often, and I'm curious if you feel this way too, like we feel a calling and we're like, the timing isn't right, or, maybe it's not the best idea to do it right now, or, this person's telling me not to do this. You don't even know what you're missing out on. The times that we do listen to the calling, the times we do go all in, look at how rewarding it is on the other side. And I want you to literally think about a time where you followed a calling, whether it was to apply to a college or to go on a date with a person or whatever it is, or to post on TikTok. The thing about aligned action and just in general alignment, being in alignment, is that it's going to feel easy. It's going to feel right for you. Okay? It feels like you're meant to do it. It feels right. It feels easy, effortless. It's like a lubricant from the universe. You know what I mean? And I think one of my biggest goals is for March at least, and I'm curious what your biggest goals are, and I want you, if you're still listening to the episode, to go DM me on Instagram and tell me what your goal for March is and lock it in, because also I see you guys DMing me, and while I can't get back to everyone, I try to get back to a lot of you, and I've seen you guys respond to the podcast episode with, your 2, if you listen to the New Year's episode we did, your 2 words for the year. Mine were excitement and freedom, which actually tap a lot into the word alignment as well. But I remember you guys sending those. So send me your March goals. It's just alignment. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've been invited to things. I've been given opportunities lately that I've said no to because they don't feel aligned. And the times when I take opportunities that don't feel aligned with me, it never works out. Period. Like, it just never works out, because your soul knows and sees the things that your eyes cannot see or know yet. The soul exists not only in the past and the present, but your soul also exists in the future. It already your soul knows things that your body does not. And so listening to your soul is actually these callings you feel. That's actually your divine self giving you guidance, giving you foresight, and be willing to receive and trust. So much about aligned action. And honestly, the biggest thing is about trusting it, trusting the process, trusting yourself to take the risk, trusting yourself to fall, fall in the universe, to know the universe has your back. I was just talking to my friend, my good friend Margaret from New York, and we were talking about how, and she's not the only one of my friends who's in this position right now, how she wants to move. And a lot of my friends are in this position right now where, maybe they're living with their parents or at home and they want to move. And it is a very scary thing to do. It is scary to take a risk on yourself and to get a lease and maybe, upgrade your lifestyle and your living situation. But some of these people are feeling so called to it. It's like the universe is telling them, like, do it, do it, do it. You deserve this. And part of the alignment is knowing what you deserve and moving from that place. What does your identity that you choose for yourself, what is he or she worthy of? How does he or she move? And moving in accordance with that. Moving like you know what the future of your life looks like. Moving like you already are the person you want to become. Because when I moved here to this apartment, it was expensive. It was a huge risk for me to sign a 1-year lease here. And I did it anyway. And now the price of this apartment is so easy to pay. I could blink and pay it. You know what I mean? I can make my rent in a day easily. And I often do. And the thing is that at the time, I wouldn't have tangibly known that would be the case, but my soul knew it. My soul knew that I would be in a financial position to make these payments easily. And thank God I took the risk, because here I am today, and I don't even know if I'd be here today if I didn't take the risk. And that's the thing. Your soul knows who your future self is and the way your future self moves. And so if you feel a calling to do something, like I felt a calling to go to a college that was really expensive. I had no way to pay for it. I went thousands of dollars in debt. And then I paid off my debt like this, mind you, coming from a poor family. And I was able to do it because I followed the alignment. I followed what felt aligned, even when it didn't make sense. I took a bet on myself because my soul was telling me it was what I was meant to do. But the soul will never lie to you, and the soul will never play tricks on you. And you really want to discern, is this my soul speaking, or is this society speaking for me? Who is making the decisions here? Am I allowing outside influences to live my life for me? Or will I take control of my life? Will I move from a place of alignment? And so in every decision I make from here on out, I ask myself, is this aligned? Does this feel like a yes in my soul? Because the truth is, I'm going to be completely honest, the past 3 days or so, I've been spending that time with a guy. And I don't normally do that. Okay, I'm normally sitting at home, filming content, doing whatever, working. And I was like a little bit worried because I was like, damn, I'm taking so much time off of work. I have been making more sales than I've made in weeks. My Miracle Journal business, taking off through the moon, bestseller on Amazon right now. I'm not doing anything but being tapped into the frequency of alignment and of pleasure. And that's what alignment really comes down to, is aligning your actions and your mindset with the true worth that you are and you have chosen for yourself. That's what it is. See, I got this apartment because I am worthy of this apartment. I went to the college I went to, even though I didn't have the money, because I'm worthy of going to that college. I posted on TikTok like I had 1 million followers because I knew I was worthy of an audience. And I was worthy of a successful business. And so alignment is really about moving like the worth you see in yourself and you want to live out. And so from here on out, I move in the frequency of alignment, and the law is that the universe always rewards alignment, whether it is monetarily, whether it is through peace of mind, whether it is through a life lesson. There's so many different rewards the universe can give you. Maybe it's your dream body. Hell, I'm telling you, in Costa Rica, I was eating smoothie bowls up the wazoo, God knows what else, burritos here and there, which, mind you, I don't ever eat the amount that I ate in Costa Rica, in LA ever. I lost weight. Because it felt aligned to eat those foods. It felt aligned and what my soul was calling me to do for my healthy body. And so much of alignment is about trusting the process. Did I think eating hella smoothie bowls would be the right thing to do? Would be the way to lose weight? No, but it felt aligned and I trusted. Okay? And there's so many examples, and I want you to share some of the examples where you took aligned action or you took a risk and it paid off and it made sense. It clicked in the end, because so much of it is about not only trusting the process, but being patient to see it come into fruition. And it's funny because and I feel intuitively someone listening to this podcast episode is meant to hear this, so let me know if this is you. My friend Margaret and I, while we were on FaceTime for literally 3 hours, we were talking about how she wants to find this dream apartment, and, she hasn't found anything in her price range that is exactly what she's looking for. And I told her, don't make amends. Don't bend what you believe you are worthy of, what you are desiring for yourself, just because right now it's not in the tangible reality. Believe that it will find you. Know that it will find you. And not only trust that it will, but I want you to understand that 99% of everything we want in life comes to us through luck. Okay? You can get the dream apartment. You can get into that college, even if your grades aren't there, even if you don't have the money for that luxury apartment right now, you can get anything you want with enough luck. I mean, I could list out hundreds and thousands of ways that you can get what you want because of some random circumstance. Luck is all around you. But luck is one of many different paths that exist in front of you. But guess which path is the one that is the luckiest? The one that feels the most aligned. Priestess perspective. I missed you guys. And I'm so ready to see you step into your luckiest era. For those of you joining Manifest Magic after this episode, I am so insanely excited for you. You will be my biggest success story, and I already know it. So keep me posted on everything that you manifest. I just got a wedding invitation for one of our students. The biggest privilege of my life, being able to see you win. I want and will see you win, period. Remember that luck is not a circumstance, it's a choice. And if you choose luck for yourself, it will find you. And the easiest way to find luck and choose it is to take the path that feels the most aligned. Wow, what an episode. I am so excited for you. I love you to the moon and back, and we're back, baby. Priestess Perspective. Don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars and like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, because it will help the channel immensely. For those of you who have already rated the podcast and liked and subscribed, thank you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. You are incredible and astronomical. And I can't wait for you guys to see all that I bring on the podcast and how we expand, because right now it's looking like this, which, by the way, alignment. Speaking of alignment, I could have waited, until my hair was done, makeup done, outfit cute, sun out. But this is what felt the most aligned, was filming this episode right now in these conditions. And so I did. I don't wait for the time to be right. I wait for the time to feel right. Period. Anyway, you guys, I love you so much. I will see you next Sunday, and have the best day ever. Have the best month ever, guys. March is magic. I'm ready to see you create magic. Get Manifest Magic down below. Don't forget to use code BESTIE for 30% off for the podcast listeners only. How lucky are you that you get it for 30% off? But yeah, I love you and I want to see you succeed. So that's my gift and treat to you. Have the best week ever. I love Sundays. Sundays are so magical. And yeah, love you. Bye.